Hello. Hello, guys. What is up, YouTube? Hello. Okay, so this video is pretty dang important to me. I have to tell you all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Great Barrier Reef. It's in Australia. Sorry if my voice sounded different today. But why is the Great Barrier Reef important? Just how important is the Great Barrier Reef? These are questions that most people don't realize. The question that so many people ask is, why should I care about the Great Barrier Reef? So let me ask online, because I'm not perfect, okay? Humans aren't perfect, as the internet is. Alright, so when I asked Google, why should I care about the Great Barrier Reef? Well, this is what Google has to say. They protect coastlines from the damaging effects of wave action and tropical storms. They provide habitats and shelter for many marine organisms, which we need to survive, like fishweed. A good portion of the fishweed comes from the Great Barrier Reef. Also, there are nitrogen and other essential nutrients for marine food chains. Now, another reason, it's the largest living structure on Earth, okay? That's massive. That's just something special. Coral reefs are important for providing many essential services for humans and biodiversity. They make only 0.1% of the ocean floor, but they host most species. In fact, they host millions of species. Many organisms breed, nurse, and feed in the coral reefs. Many animals spend their whole lives in the coral reefs. So they are very important if you're into seafood. And if you're not, seagulls eat seafood. And if seagulls start dying, they'll stop crapping. And you might think that's good, but it's not. If seagulls start dying because there's no fish for them to eat, they stop crapping, then islands in the Pacific where a lot of your exotic fruit come from won't be fertile. And the Great Barrier Reef producing all that nitrogen and all those oxygen and giving people all of that food, you can see why it's important now, right? I mean, if the Great Barrier Reef just disappeared overnight and all the animals died, it could literally cause famine in some countries. People depend on it that much. Like I said, it's the largest living organism in the world. Now, here's something that's kind of disheartening, because we all know if all the coral in the world disappears, humans around the world, no matter how far from the sea you live, and no matter if you eat fish or not, anyone on Earth, everyone will be impacted. Okay? Now, another thing I need to tell you. I don't know if I told you this or not, but without the Great Barrier Reef, Australia coastline would be eroding. A butt-ton eroding. So yeah, we need the Great Barrier Reef, guys. Now I'm pulling up the next thing. Please bear with me. Don't grow impatient, alright? I'm looking for the history. The Great Barrier Reef percentage, here it is. So, do you know what portion of the Great Barrier Reef has had coral bleaching in these last few decades? The literal miles and miles of coral bleached. I saw it in a plane ride. Here's what Google has to say. 40% of the reef remained untouched. Only 40% of that natural wonder. 25% experienced severe bleaching, and 35% was moderately bleached. The southern section, which stayed mostly intact during the events of 2016-2017, got very hard in 2020. That's kind of disheartening, because honestly, even if you think it doesn't affect you, it does. You should care about our coral reefs, especially the Great Barrier Reef being the largest one of the world. Like, at least 50%, if not like 90 some percent of the corals, 50 to 90%, I'm guessing, live in that reef. It's the size of the island of Tasmania and Queensland, or no, not Queensland. It's the size of Tasmania and Victoria, Australia put together. That's pretty darn big. So, and I didn't get that off Google, that is something I knew. It's a pretty large Great Barrier Reef. So, if the Great Barrier Reef disappears, you will be affected. And not just by hearing it on the news. It will hit the economy, the tourism, the food, the fishing industry, the biodiversity. Just kind of like how you thought the Australian bushfires didn't affect you, but no matter where you are in the world, they did, even if they weren't all over the news. Those smoke clouds traveled around the Earth multiple times. So, like people in the United States, Canada, Mexico, the Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa, on every continent, people knew about these fires. And, 90 some percent of humans spent time talking about it online in early 2020 when it happened. If you're watching this video right now and you don't live in Australia, I bet you still heard about it in early 2020, all those bushfires. So we at least know it affected your life in a small way if you don't live under a rock and you've watched the news before. But really, you could see the smoke from far away. So, yeah, the Great Barrier Reef is just like this in many ways because it's very important, and you might think it's not going to affect you, just like you didn't think the Australian bushfires would affect you if you don't live in Australia, but it will. Alright, I have to go. My brother's outside being rude. I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful time. Like and subscribe and help protect our coral reefs.